really small town, and there was nothing really much going on, and the only excitement there was what you made yourself. Yeah. So and that's probably why the music's as energetic as it is, because it was just like a sort of total release from the boredom of where we were.
Yeah, in the sense of like the electro angle on it. Why particularly that area did you go for rather than sort of thrashing some guitars?
Because we couldn't. We tried thrashing guitars and that was much too hard, and we're just a bit too lazy for that kind of thing. You know, we wanted to make music and we wanted to make it really quickly, and so the easiest thing to do was to get a cheap sequencer, cheap synthesizer. When you're a band, you know, within about 5 minutes we were a band. It was great. There's a lot of trouble, I think, up until now, really. We've started to be able to express ourselves a little less aggressively, but that is part of our nature, you know. We can't really hide the fact that we're quite energetic people, and aggression isn't necessarily a negative thing, and very much so in a gig situation it's a very positive thing. That's what people in a band want the audience to give them, and that's what the audience want the band to give them also. And I think that it was just used as a dirty word in the press to describe us, and we've never been ashamed of the way we were. I think we were just a little bit naive of how we were using it, you know. Right. We started when we were very young. Yeah. And we didn't have much concept of trying to please the press or trying to please other people around us in the music business. We just carried on in a real single-minded way.
Being from England, particularly from the press side of it, was as a negative for you?
Yeah, really, very much so.
Yeah, where bands like Front 242 were very much applauded.
Yeah.
Why do you think that was, though?
I don't know. I think definitely coming from Essex. You know, Essex isn't actually London, and it's too close to be somewhere trendy like Manchester. And so we were in that position where people wanted to have, I don't know, some kind of scapegoat. You know, the press always have to have someone that they can flex their egos on, and we happened to be it. I mean, I think the fact that when we first started releasing records, we were told that we were going to end within 6 months, and we didn't. And we just thought, well, if the British press aren't interested in us, then we'll go elsewhere. So we went to Europe and we went to America, and we got applauded by those people. Came back, and the British press couldn't handle it because they were saying that something was going to fail, and it actually blossomed. You know, and they're just left in a bit of a sticky situation where they can't say they're wrong, and they don't want to say that we're right. Started with that was the horn sections, the real ragtime things, and it just reminded us of a kind of 30s street level kind of feeling, you know, specifically America because of the jazz. And then when we were in the States last year touring, we came across a little bit of a hairy moment in Washington. We were out on a day off wandering around the red light district in Washington DC. It's about 12 o'clock, you know, not really late at night, and we just wandered into the wrong street at the wrong time, and there are a lot of dudes hanging out down there, general groups of guys. And as we were wandering down, we thought we'd better just strut down there, stay cool, not run off. And so we went down there, and then one of these guys said, "Hey, dude, you got a light?" So I went over, gave him a light, and as he's lighting a cigarette, and he said, "You better be careful out there. You ain't going to get far. We're going to pluck you off." And so we thought, well, all right, we'll just chill about it. We started to back off slightly, started wandering down the road, and then all these other guys are going, "You be careful out there. You be careful. You ain't going to get far. We're going to pluck you off. We're going to pluck you off." So we ran back to the hotel, and that's that sort of feeling of generally violence, imminent violence. Was something that is portrayed in the song. It's a mixture of so many different things. The whole thing about the daddy baby bit was just I can't really explain why it came about. It just seemed quite a funny turnaround to have a father calling for his child, and then as though he was looking for a child that needed him, and then the reality of it was that he needed the child. That just seemed, it's got nothing to do. Each event hasn't got anything to do with each other, really. It's just to add to that kind of street scene.
How about the sort of dance scene? Do you relate to any of that, or?
No, not at all.
Not anymore. It's just become so flogged, it's so thin, and it's obviously, I mean, for years it's been a money-making thing. when we really felt a passion for doing dance music, is because there was too much clever musicality about, and we wanted to get back to real basics and simple things. But even now, it all just gets perverted in the sake of popularism, and then it just becomes tedious, really. It doesn't become a challenge to make or listen to, as far as we can see. So it's just a dead end.